to say, guys, welcome. So we have a wonderful guest with us. This is gonna be our first guy here. This guy right here. This is Shane from Chasing Yesterday. Thank you so much for coming in. And this is your host Brian from Alive and Stone. And we're gonna go ahead and just kind of have a hangout here. If you want to go ahead and I guess the first thing that we should probably talk about is go ahead and tell us where you're from and a little bit about the band and kind of where you guys started from.
First, Brian, thank you, man. I appreciate
You're welcome, buddy.
Dude, it's pretty cool. I just woke up, so we're having coffee together pretty much. But
yeah, man, love it.
Now I'm done.
Smashes it.
But no, I'm Shane with Chasing Yesterday, lead vocalist. We're band out of Texas in Houston, Texas, and kind of based in Arizona now too. Our guitarist lives out there, Rudy. We're Houston, Texas NuMetal band, kind of venturing out and trying different little things with our style and what we're doing. Shoot, man, I think with these guys, they've been around for about 3 years. I recently only joined a band. I was in the music industry before, prior to this. And hey, life happens sometimes. You got to do what you got to do and be responsible. And being a single father, that was my priority. So I took pretty much a 14-year hiatus completely from everything music, and only got in. Decided, you know what, for therapeutic reasons, let's do this. Let's get back into it. And I've been back, tried out for this band and got the spot, and I've been with them for coming up on probably a year and 2 months now, something like that. So
yeah, man, most definitely. I took a little bit of time to take a listen. I would definitely say this is definitely an early I would say an early 2000s, late 90s type nu metal band. This is like grade 8, like Flaw, very in the pipeline of that time, and you guys do it very well. So yeah,
it's funny because it actually, saying that, it picks up right where I left off. So
yeah. Exactly. Right on, man. So I guess the next question that I have is so you say you tried out for Chasing Yesterday, so there had been vocalists prior to you joining. Is that what I'm hearing? I have a similar experience.
Yeah, they had recently, COVID hit everybody. It sucker punched them right when they were starting to get momentum. They were going on tour with Tantric, with the previous singer, and then COVID hit everything. Everybody from the top big bands to the little bands, everybody was hurting at that point. So, it came to almost a screeching halt at that point. They lost the original drummer and the original vocalist. I believe they're original, from my understanding.
Right.
And then so, it's hard to recruit during COVID. Everyone was scared. A lot of people were scared. There was that mass hysteria thing going on. So
definitely, it was.
Yeah,
I think
once it started clearing up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Once it started clearing up, I ran into them, so it's all good.
Awesome, man. So, prior to being a vocalist, did you ever was voice your first instrument, or did you kind of learn it later, or like what's your story in terms of your music journey?
I played the trumpet in high school, and
wow.
Then I picked it. Yeah, I was not very good. But I've been in New Orleans. Have you been to New Orleans?
No, love the culture out there though.
It is a fun place to drink. But
right on.
When you walk around New Orleans and you see all the jazz musicians and stuff, I thought, like, man, I should have stuck with that. But no, I actually gravitated towards guitar. Most of my earlier bands that I was playing with, I played guitar, but none of them actually went anywhere. And then I tried out for a buddy of mine was like, hey, I'm looking for a singer, and I was like, I've never done it, but I'm always singing in the car. My friends call me Thumper because I was always tapping on stuff. I wanted to do drums, but when I tried out for it in high school, they were like, you don't have the wrist. And I was like, whatever that means. So I think they just needed to fill trumpet spots, and then here you go. We all know how that goes, but actually I love guitar. I'm actually trying to, pick it back up and dabble with a little bit. It's been fun, but yeah, I just got to break into the finger pads. But
Absolutely, man.
But guitar was always first. I gravitated towards vocals with that band, and we had some minor success with that band in Connecticut, where I was living at the time.
Okay, cool. And then I guess you made the migration to Texas later then. Okay.
Yeah, much. My family's always been from Texas. Most of my family is in the Dallas area.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
Fort Worth area. But then gravitating, like I love Houston. Houston grew on me actually during the hurricane because it was fun to see everybody come together. But other than that, man, I wish I lived in San Antonio. Like I love that city. It is.
Yeah, man, I hear great things about it.
And it's not quite so humid. So
yeah, yeah.
humidity
Oh, say again. Sorry,
I said sorry. My bad. Humidity kills me.
Oh yeah, man.
Enough?
I mean,
am I close enough? Or
yeah. So what are some of the influences that you had growing up, or like the really, like if you can name like the top 3 bands that made a difference in your life to make you really want to play? Like who are they? Like tell me, like who was it that really made a mark on you?
100% Pantera. Right.
Yeah.
Phil Anselmo. Phil Anselmo's always been a really good inspiration, and just kind of like, man, that guy's got his shit together. And his stage presence is by far, like
he was amazing.
Like he's and I heard someone sent me something yesterday. I guess they're going back on tour, the 2 of the 4. They're going to get Phil on guitars. They're going to do the first tour in 20 years. And
wow, man.
Did you ever get to see him live or no?
So I'm a kid that kind of grew up the closest thing to thrash. Oh, and just let me also say, like, feel free to ask me anything. Like, you can
I'm going to, man.
You can rebound it. I love it. I love the questions. But I would say I was more of an alternative kid growing up. I never really had I didn't really understand who Pantera was and who what the influence that they really had on the metal community until much later in my life. I remember the earliest memory of like being like 6 or 7 years old and seeing like, the Trendkill.
That's when I saw the cardboard cutout in like the stores.
Dude. Yeah. And I remember seeing that, but like for me personally, like the closest that I ever got to like the metal scene, in terms of a very influential band was Metallica. But that was like, I never really got a strong metal influence. I was more of a nu metal or, hard alternative rock kid. And so Pantera, understanding the impact that they had wasn't until I was like, 18, 19, I heard, This Love for the first time, and then you heard Cowboys from Hell, and you listen to Phil's voice and just the range in Cemetery Gates and all these wonderful tunes. And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy was a fucking animal.
Yeah, he's a fucking beast. His stage presence is bar none.
Uh-oh.
I guess my kid ordered something on Amazon. Hey, my bad.
Yeah, that's all, dude, you're good.
He never barks. So I was like, why is he barking? And I see some dude step off to the side. Phil Anselmo, and actually I was fortunate, man, like I've had Pantera's always been like these guys kick ass. And I remember that the same thing, the cardboard cutout when I was a little kid when that movie, when that album came out. And that's my favorite album, Great Southern Trendkill. It's just so fucking raw. And I read later on about what was going on during that time. Phil was battling heroin, and just kind of very reclusive at that time period. And man, that album is, I think what's great about it is the emotions just so raw, and so it's in your face, and that's kind of what to me, that's what intrigues me about music, is when it's raw, when it's dirty, when it's like, what is this guy getting off his chest? What is he vocalizing for the band? And
emotional resonance.
It's like everything. Me getting back in music was purely for one reason. That's therapy. Therapeutic reasons. And it's shoot, man. But Pantera, Phil Anselmo, I've had so many. I was fortunate enough to see them on their last tour, and then 9/11 happened. So I think I saw the opening show actually for that tour. It was in New Haven, Connecticut, and yeah, that was awesome. I was on a flight one time, and we were on a layover flight. I was a little kid, and I had a backpack on. We were going to see family in Utah, and I had a backpack with dime bag on the front of the guitar, front of the magazine with a guitar, and because it's a guitar magazine. But and we're walking through the Dallas DFW airport, and dime bag walks in the corner, and I just didn't say nothing. I was just in awe, and he walks and he goes 3 and said that to me because I was just like, a little kid. And
holy shit.
Yeah, and then years later he's deceased, he's gone. I wish I'd have said something, but it is what it is. And I was bidding on Vinny's estate when it just went up. Like, huge Pantera fan, but I can go on, and I'll not bore you with that. But
no. This is what the whole interview is. This is what the whole hangout's about. It's not even really an interview; it's a hangout.
I've never bid on anything, but have you ever done that before?
Done
online bidding things or anything like that?
You're talking about this experience?
Like auctions and stuff like that.
Oh, auctions? No. I've never done auctions before. The closest things I've ever got to auctions was like going to a site with like firearms or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not really into that. So
yeah, I love guns. But yeah, so I tried the auction. I was trying to bid on Vinnie Paul's estate. They were putting up all the gold records and shit for sale. I was like, that was badass. And I didn't realize you had to put in the highest bidder, because if you got outbid, it would jump to that. And man, I almost got one of the Dime Vision things. I was off by like $50, and I was like, motherfucker,
son of a bitch, dude.
Like, yeah, I was so pissed off, but hey, it is what it is. But
absolutely, man. Yeah, man. So I think so the next thing that I want to ask is like, so Pantera was obviously a huge...
Pantera, man. I was a huge I've gotten this since I was when I was with my other bands. I've been told I sound like him as the guy from Nothing Face.
Oh yeah, that's so I'm gonna tell you a cool story. So
Matt, I think was his name.
To add to what you're saying, like in terms, so bringing up Nothing Face. So I actually, the only time I ever got to meet anyone from Pantera was I got to meet Vinnie Paul way before he passed.
Yeah.
I got to meet them when they were with Hell Yeah, and I know Nothing Face. I think the guitarist from Nothing Face played for
Tommy.
So that was actually one of the bands that made me think about Chasing Yesterday when I heard you.
Oh, see,
it sounded like that era. Like,
I've always gotten that, and I was telling Rudy, our guitarist, I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, who I always get that I sound like is Nothing Face, and he's like, I've never heard of him. So I sent him some tracks. He goes, yeah. So
have you ever into Scrape or like a Coal Chamber?
I'm so glad you said Scrape. So many man, I used to jam the shit out of them.
They should have had it all.
And they were actually with Pantera, and I was kind of bummed because they were the opening act, because it was Scrape, then Morbid Angel, Static X, Slayer, and then Pantera. And it was a hell of a show. And Scrape, I'd seen them back in Connecticut. They had a really badass rock station back then. It was way before it was that commercialized bullshit we have now, where they, it's all money and not playing real music. But sorry about that.
You're good, dude.
They have man, they killed it. It was a 106.9 WCCC was the rock station in Connecticut, and they killed it, man. Like, you could turn it on and listen to Slayer over the radio. Like, they were a really good station, and they didn't care. And they were privately owned, so they weren't, what everything is now, which is bullshit. But you got to have Sirius Radio now, and I love the stations on Sirius Radio. They kill it. But
yeah, agreed.
I saw Scrape at their festival they threw, and Scrape killed it, man.
Their singer, dude, they're so fucking. In my opinion, Scrape is one of the most underrated bands.
They're good.
Like, Chester Bennington's like my idol, dude. Billy was insane on vocals. Like, the way he delivered those he had pitched screams and pitched like vocals.
He was good. Like, oh, fuck yeah.
And they were insane. And like, I just don't know why they didn't get more recognition than they did. And shout out to Mike Lynchard, who comes into the bodega. He's one of the customers. He played guitar for them. Super cool guy. But Billy's, you know, I know
Oh,
that
yeah.
he played with some of the members of Mudvayne for a little while. They had their own thing going, and dude, Scrape's amazing. And
Yeah,
another one,
I've always liked Scrape, man.
dude, so fucking good. And
Like,
then
I have
another
their
one is
album now with like
Stereo Mud.
that fingernail in the front or whatever. And,
Stereo Mud.
That was a good album.
Oh,
And,
you're talking about not
man,
Up
when
the
we get off
Dose.
this, I'm gonna throw them on because there's a song in particular I'm thinking of. Yeah,
That's actually a toenail. That's not a fingernail.
whatever it is. It needs help. So,
Dude, that's like what I love about your album art and my album art, kinda. You have that like in a world where so one of the things I want to say is like one of the things that like I love about your brand is that like when I look at your CDR, it looks like a fucking nu metal band. Like some some grimy fucked up image on the front that just says like we're gonna get down in the trenches. And that was what that fingernail was. That's what your album is with that guy with his eyes getting fucking gouged in. And I kind of wanted a similar Alice in Chains type where it was just blanketed, you know. And when I look at your album, it's a lot like that. It's like the, you know, the Dry Cell albums of the past, and you know, like a lot of those very simple album covers, but just got right to the point. You know, it's not like it is where it's like this super photoshopped image. It's just
I know. And some of the stuff we're working on new stuff right now. But it's, you know, for me, and you know, Rudy does a phenomenal job in organizing, like, you know, what we're using, what we're this, and as a group, like one of the things that's nice about this, we did an interview not too long ago, and it was Matt, Rudy, and I, and Matt's the drummer.
Yeah.
And Matt's been in the music scene for a long time, and one of the things that he's like, hey, this is what's so great about it is there are no egos. Like, we vote on things. Like, we're doing a music video here soon for the song we're about to release, Bloodline. And
Bloodline.
I'm always like, come up with like, this is raw, this is nasty, yo, let's do this. And everyone's like, that's a little much, let's tone it back. So I'm probably the more, let's be extreme, let's, you know, but that's the Phil Anselmo influence, I guess, is pushing it to let's be a little more, let's be fucking crazy and raw, and you know, let's make shockwaves. That's kind of my approach to a lot of it, because
you need that.
Unfortunately, you have to go to extremes, I think, sometimes to get noticed. But
I agree. My last video was me on a cross. You know, that was on fucking fire.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it wasn't, you know, to do anything sacrilegious. That's not what I wanted to do. But I wanted to. I believe that the artists are doing their job when they, you know, you want people to look at you. You know, it's you don't want to be, when the art is vulnerable. That's, you know, that's when it's.
Hey, that's a good way to put it. When the art is vulnerable for, you know,
it makes you uncomfortable.
Because even negative, you know, feedback is still news. So, I don't like this, but you know, it's. Yeah, no, we've done a pretty good job. I like that album, the Suffering Carbon artwork. You know, that dude. I was like, who is that? And he's like, I don't know. So, but you know, some of the other stuff, and you know, we're trying to. I'm trying to push the bar as far as like, hey, let's make some waves. You know, just and that's a lot of where my influences come in. Is, you know, Phil Anselmo, Nothing Face, who I just happen to sound like. I was doing my thing way before I actually listened to them, and someone's like, "Hey, you sound like Nothing Face." And I was
Most definitely.
Check them out, and I love them. I was like, "Yeah, these guys are." Yeah, I love Nothing Face. Like, they're badass.
Yeah, agreed.
And but then yeah, I guess, and to fully answer your question without trailing off, I think I used to practice a lot of my screams to Chimera. So I love Chimera.
Chimera's a new
Dez with Devil Driver, like a lot of those, like I listen to probably a lot more harder stuff. Suicide Silence.
Oh yeah.
I love Ginger.
You like Ginger? The new school.
Yeah,
he's wild.
She's a badass.
Yeah.
And that's actually my son's all-time favorite band. Like, he's 13. Sometimes he puts stuff on. I'm like, hey, can we tone it back a little bit?
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, there's like, it's. I'm just like, I can dig some Cannibal Corpse, but I don't know what this is, dude. We gotta turn it up. But we were actually picked I was his hero for probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks. But we got picked to open up for Ginger when they were going to come to Houston, went on a break off a leg from the Slipknot tour.
That's great.
And unfortunately, given politics the way it is, Putin, attacked their home country, which is just an asshole move.
Right.
But yeah, and that draw that shut. Hopefully they'll come back. Maybe we'll get that other chance. But the fact that we were picked to open for them by them, I'm proud of that. Like that's.
I'm proud for you. That's awesome, man.
That was my kid was psyched. He was like,
"Oh yeah,
Dad, you're the man."
Yeah, man. That's badass, and maybe that generation will pursue itself. Maybe he has such a great role model to look up to that. He's gonna.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Hey, man. I don't know, man. It's kind of cool. You're kind of like a pro wrestler, and you look like a pro wrestler, and you look like a singer at the same time. So it works. It's great, man. It's like Dad's a hero.
I do a little Brazilian jiu-jitsu, man. It's healthy, but it wears me out. I did it one time. This lady wired this because I'm 6'1", 235 pounds.
God.
And I weighed myself right before I got on, so I know.
Yeah.
And man, this dude was probably jiu-jitsu is amazing because this dude was probably like, he was a little bitty dude. He kicked my ass. Like, but he's doing amateur fights on a regular, so he's but man, he kicked my ass.
My first year, that's what it's about. My first year was like that. I mean, my first year of jiu-jitsu, like I tapped probably for like 6 months. Yeah. And then finally you just don't get tapped, and then you find a way to win on points, and then you finally submit someone. And
that's the way it works.
And it's great. And it's but I mean it is so humbling. Jiu-jitsu is a very humbling sport.
Yes.
You're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yes, it is. You see so many big dudes. Like, cause we walked into a place, we were doing a training exercise for work, and the first thing this little dude says is, "I want you." And I was like, But man, it was a fun time. It's very humbling, very, very humbling, and it's you have to really be patient and be clear-headed up here to calculate your next move. And I'm looking forward to where I can have the time to actually do it full time and study it and actually pursue it as a hobby. But one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a very important life skill to have something in your life that challenges that kind of discipline. I wanted to just make one comment, not to go back in time here, but
that's good, man.
Yeah, I wanted to just comment that I think it's wonderful that you're a personality in your band that is a little bit more on the extreme side, and there's other guys that maybe aren't. I like that dynamic because I think you guys balance each other well. Yeah. And I think that and I think it's wonderful that you guys kind of take the ego out of it and you guys can kind of reach an agreement as a group. That's a great thing. And I think that it's very important for bands to do that. And if you guys can agree on something and just keep the ball rolling forward, like that's all that matters, man.
Yeah, it's people get too like egos get into place. It's like, man, you see so many bands, and I'm sure it's the same issue in Florida. And like I said, I'm coming back into this after being out for so long, and I'm seeing everyone just flip flop and people leave and everything, and they had a disagreement, and what happened? They sounded really good. Why can't And everybody just, I don't know if it's egos or I don't know if it's just collective difference in where the music should go, but like there's some things that I would rather change in some songs, but as a group we voted, and it's like, okay, well, it stays. I can work with it. It's fine. It sounds great to me either way. So
yeah.
But we vote, we all cast a ballot. It's like a little voting system. Everyone say yay, everyone say nay. All right, we're doing it, or no, we're not doing it. What's the next idea we can pitch? And so it's, we work as a democracy. Yeah. So the one that actually works and doesn't have electoral votes. So
absolutely. So now that we're back on the subject of the band, I wanted to talk about your next single. So the next single is called Bloodline. Is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
So let's talk a little bit about Bloodline, and let's talk about kind of what are the origins of the song? Like, how did it kind of come to you? Like, can you give us a little bit of the storytelling of a little bit about that song without giving us too much, if possible?
So the storyline is, I mean, the basis of the song, like you said, everything's therapy for me. The storyline is more or less about, for me, it's about one particular person who's a complete asshole.
Right.
But I mean, you can tie it to any person in your life and just any aspect, to the point of, you know, you don't always have to have the last word. Sometimes it's best to just say, you know, whatever. You know, the chorus is, I never had a chance to say half the shit that I wanted to. That's okay, because I'm feeling fine. Just keep on walking the fuck away from me. And it's sometimes you just have to, you see people, things escalate to violence, things escalate to, you know, there's a lot of those crybaby dudes out there that, if I can't have her, no one can. Like,
Oh God.
you know, yeah, those dudes. It's like, dude, there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's so many girls out there. It's ridiculous. Like, just find a one that's cool for you. It's, if
Very
she didn't work,
underrated
she didn't
part
work.
of being a guy.
But if somebody does you wrong, like, you know what? Take the high road. Prove you're the better person. Walk away. Don't, you know, you know, it's the first part is more or less about, you know, the energy you put to somebody. And sometimes you know, how many times we find ourselves coming back to people who've done us wrong, and coming back to people who've done us wrong. And, you know, and the reference is used, came back like a dog to eat shit too. And, you know, I always try to think about, you know, I'm not Christian, but I always try to think about Bible stuff where it's, you know, I think Lamb of God does such a good reference of, I love Lamb of God. That's their flag behind me. I just realized it.
Absolutely.
But their uses, you know, I don't know if it's necessarily done in a hypocrisy type way, or just but the references, you know, using the thys and the thous and all that stuff. Like, you know, there's that, you know, came back like a dog to eat shit too. And there's always that reference of, well, dogs do eat shit. Some of them do. Mine doesn't, thank God. But there's the reference of, you know, a dog turns to his vomit in the Bible. And it's like, okay, well, you know, how many times do we do that? We go back to things that are bad for us, or people that are bad for us, rather than just sever the cord, man, cut it, just move on to something else.
Absolutely.
Or other people. There's, you know, even if it's shit, I've left cliques before because I've been like, man, you know what? And I've always taken the approach where, you know what, if you're the smartest person in the room, it's time for a new room. And so,
yeah,
I mean, it's just, you see, I don't want to be that, not that I'm smarter or better than anybody, but there's just sometimes there's mental levels where people, you know, it's just like, we don't mesh no more. Or even if they may be smarter than me, you fucking want to leave, you know, that's fine. But I take what I learn from people and I apply it to myself and make myself a better person. Because at the end, the only person we all have to worry about is ourselves. And that's kind of the basis of the song is, you know, let's move forward. You don't have to have the last word. You don't need to beat somebody's ass because they did you wrong. Is it nice? Hell yeah. Have we all done it? Yeah. But it's you know, if it's not a situation, if it's an emotional, I think, or mental trap situation, you need to separate yourself. Just get away. Just, that's the best thing, and focus on yourself.
Agreed. And I think you have the life experience to definitely
I've seen a lot
confirm that. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of dumb shit.
So I think that was a pretty concise definition of the new one. Any type of like imagery that we're kind of like thinking about maybe for the music video, or we anything we're set on?
The music video is the music video. This is what we voted about, and this is where the extreme comes into play. I don't want to give away too much, but it's violent. So,
all right, that's good enough for me.
It's gonna be with the idea we've pitched to people, and Rudy didn't like it. But we voted, you know, we're a democracy, you know, and hey, it's all good. But yeah, we it's gonna be pretty violent. It goes from 0 to 1,000 real quick in a video.
Right, man.
And we're working with a couple local guys here that do a really good job making videos, and it's just me a matter of planning it. And you know, we're writing out the storyboard now, but you know, of course, it's going to have, I think you have to have a live scene of the band playing. Like it's
right.
it's going to have that. So we're going to be playing, and then it's going to flash to this other scene of these events that are going on. And it's just it's going to be kind of hypocritical because the song is about walking away, but the video side is going to show, look, this is what can happen if you don't. This is when emotions take over and people aren't thinking clear here, they're thinking here, and this is what can happen. This is the outcome. This is why you need to keep your shit straight. And so that's why it's better sometimes walk away, because we've all seen situations where we all know that dude that he kept coming back to people that were bad for him and thinking, oh, it's going to change. And sure as shit, what happens? Some catastrophe that is like, dude, what
very relatable.
I want people to better themselves overall. And people view metal. I don't think it's as bad now, but back in the day, there was all every metal satanic and Knights in Satan's service, Kiss, my Kiss reference there for the show. But
gotta love it though.
Yeah, it's funny, and we as a metal community, we've embraced it and seized it as like, okay, well let's make you upset. So
absolutely, man. So I'm gonna do something with so that's great, man. So it seems like your fans and our fans and the music community is gonna have a lot to look forward to with you guys with Chasing SJ. So we got a new music video coming out. We got a new single as well for them. So I'm going to do one thing just because we're about at the 33-minute mark. I feel like that's very solid for a first-time interview. What I want to do is or a first-time hangout.
Hell yeah.
So one thing that I always love doing, and this is something that I've always wanted out of my, out of the artists that I've grown up listening to is I've always wanted to kind of do fun questions at the end, stuff that doesn't have to do with music. Really, really funny stuff. Well, not funny stuff, but just like, just interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go through some questions, and if you can answer them, that'd be great. So first things first, top 3 favorite foods.
Ooh.
You're a Texas boy. Come on now.
You're going to laugh at me. I love Indian food, packy food, man.
Oh my
love
God.
that stuff.
So
Indian
good.
food. I would say Indian food. Anything that once lived. I love meat. I love steak.
Right.
I'm a hunter myself, so I harvest my own food. I don't like chemicals in my food and buying meat from the store where there's chickens that are 3 weeks old that are the size of basketballs and stuff. I don't think that's right. I think it's I believe in good meat. So steak, Indian food, and
come on now. Is this gas station getting any love? No gas station hot dogs in there? No.
I did that.
No nostalgia.
I just no. Maybe if I'm in New York and I want a hot dog on the side of the road, I'll get a hot dog there. But
fair enough.
Dude, I love Asian food. It's healthy. It's got vegetables and stuff in it. So
cool.
I'll go with that. I'll get off this. I'll finish this up and be like, oh, you should have said Italian. But I'm not big. I don't like carbs. I'm not a big Italian. Strangely enough, I'm not big into Italian. I don't know why. And I live back in Connecticut where it's like, hey, there's so many Italians. So, but there's great Italian food. But French food's good. But the best pizza I've ever had was in Paris, in France. Wow. The best pizza. It was salmon de la fromage. It was salmon and cheese. It was, and they accidentally spilled wine over it, and it actually made it really badass. I was impressed.
That's great. Yeah. You're like me. You're just like, fuck it. We don't need to refire it. I'll just eat it.
Let's dip it into wine.
There you go. It's like a French frosty, like when you take the French fries and even frosty. Okay. Next question. So, which brings me to my next question. Favorite vacation spot or favorite place to go?
I'm supposed to leave to Belize on Sunday. My girlfriend has a place down there.
Killer.
But I love Europe. I love Europe. I've been to France twice. Ireland was a blast. The first thing I like to drink, so I like to have a good time. Not to the point of alcoholism.
Right, of course not.
No, we have all been there. But Ireland was a blast. My first 5 minutes in Ireland, I threw up in a post office box, and
That answers my second question. My third question.
But yeah, I love Europe. I'm looking to try and buy a place up in Colorado. Canada is always great. I love Quebec City.
Yeah.
I've been to Quebec like 6 times, and Quebec is really. I actually walked past Des Ferrara there and just said, "What's up, Des?" And he's like, "What's up, man?" I just kept walking. I was like, "I'm not gonna bother."
That's killer, man. Yeah.
But yeah, I just going hunting, going fishing, going anywhere.
All about it.
Where I can be. I love vacationing. I live.
All about
there
it,
you
man.
go, brother.
Love it. All about it.
There we go. There we go.
And just so all the viewers know, just because ethics, there's something in hunting known as ethics, clean kill or clean harvest, never letting an animal suffer. These are ethics of hunting. It's not just a bunch of guys that want to go out and wreck shit and cause harm. We love animals.
100%. I
love animals.
Like, I know in Texas we can sit in a stand and just watch, but dude, it's nice to just sit there and just watch them play sometimes. It's funny.
The hunting's killer out there. Next question. So it's great. Like every time you answer a question, you answer a bit of the next thing I want to ask you.
Oh, okay.
Next one, most embarrassing thing that you are at liberty to talk about that's ever happened to you. Go ahead. And we'll make you not feel alone. That way we go down together. How about that?
It's all good, man. Yeah. I have no shame at all.
Oh, good. This is great.
No shame. So, well, I told you about Ireland. Dang, there's so many to go through.
Just pick a good one, and I'll match you.
Man, okay. So when I was 6 or 15, I grew up Mormon. So they kicked me out a long time ago. They kicked me out a long time ago.
Was it all having all the girls? Was that it? Having like 16 wives? That was
it's too many mother-in-laws. So
I gotcha.
But and I'm proudly pagan now. Like I found a belief system that just I get behind, and I love it. Man. It's just I feel more connected to my surroundings more than ever, and it's beautiful. But so we were at my grandparents' house in Dallas, and I was like, I want to drink. I want to drink something. So I go and I get this, and we were flying out. It was Y2K, so it was like 1999 turning to 2000, and my dad was like, we got cheap flights to fly back the day of because everyone's worried about.
Yeah, you did.
And he's like, they ain't going down. No, come on, we're gonna fly out that day to save us a bunch of money. And so I go downstairs in the middle of the night, and I go to my grandfather's fridge, and I drink myself to a stupor. 15-year-old kid. I wander upstairs, and then when I wake up in the morning, I didn't have the chance to shower, but somehow I still to this day don't know how, but I managed to piss the bed. And so then I got on a plane, and I was smelling because I was trying to hide it. My grandma called my parents, like, "Hey, Shane went to bed."
Yeah.
But it was like, one of the first times I actually drank. And so it was like, oh man, I woke up and was like, fuck, I pissed the bed. But we have here, everyone's like, go, we got to get on a plane. Let's go. So
definitely, man. It's a good one, man. I got you though.
I know I have better. That's
oh yeah, you do. That's all right. So I know you're taking light on us, but that's all right because we always know that the most embarrassing stories typically surround accidents of the lower regions.
Yes, they do.
And I will one-up you just to make you feel better on the next one. When I was 19 years old, I sneezed and shit my pants. So I was at home.
Dude, what is it, a shark? Everyone sharks, man. I've been at work and been like, oh shit.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Yeah, totally. So check this out. So so I was about 19 years old, and so it was one of those situations where you're kind of like, I guess I'm gonna try to make this as graceful as possible, but you're standing over the pisser, and I'm taking a piss, and there's this turd that's just at the tip of my asshole, and I'm just like, okay, you got to make a decision. So it's like you got one thing happening here, like you're peeing in front, but you're kind of like holding everything together in the back. And it's like if you pee too hard, you're at risk of letting it go back there. And so I'm in this limbo, right?
Yeah.
I'm in this limbo, and I just feel the sneeze coming on, and I just hachoo and just follow through like a fucking Gary Sheffield swing, just all the way through. It wasn't like a piece game. It's just like once I was there, I just followed through.
It's just a whole log, man.
Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, I gotta get these drawers out of here. And I was just like, fuck it, dude. I tossed them, cleaned myself up, tossed them out of here. It was definitely an experience.
Work that can be done.
What'd you say?
There's no salvage work that can be done.
Oh, no. That's the rule. If we ever shit our pants.
Yeah, that should be
we just throw them drawers away.
Written in stone somewhere in front of some city hall in America. If thou shit thy pants, that should throw it away. So
yeah, dude. I mean,
the 11th commandment.
What was that last part?
It's the 11th commandment. So.
Oh God, man. So I guess the last one is craziest, and I don't know if this is applicable. Any craziest tour story?
Craziest horror story?
Tour story.
Oh, tour story.
Like any tour, if applicable. Meaning, if you guys have been on tour, if you've ever been on tour, do you have a story from that?
We haven't toured. We try to stay local, but like we're playing in Phoenix, Arizona. For any of us that are going to be in Phoenix, September 17th, we're going to be in Phoenix playing a show. You can find us at on Instagram at Chasing Yesterday Official, and find out locations and everything there.
Craziest band story so far.
So band story.
Any of those? Any music story? Any good music stories?
I mean, we practice here at my house now, but there's it's a fun one. It's not necessarily crazy, but we opened for my first show back in the business was my grand finale of like hiatus of being in music was playing with Saliva.
Oh yeah, I got to play with those guys in Ybor one time. That's awesome.
Bobby's a cool dude. All those guys. They
man. Yeah.
And I got pulled up on stage and got to sing "Click Click Boom" with them.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
That was like my first show back, and I was like, this is badass.
Dude, that's
I had such a good time. Like I can't, and I was drunk. But they called me up I was in the crowd, and Bobby started talking. I was like, he's talking to me? What? So he's like, come on up, brother, and then pointed at the mic, and I was like, oh hell yeah. So, but I was drunk, and I went up to the mic. I mean, we're halfway through the song, but I mean, I figured I'm done. Let me just enjoy the rest of the show. Let me have a good time. And so then I'm up there, and I started to yell "Click Click Boom" at the wrong time. And and you know what? When I listen to the song on the in the radio, I always yell at that same wrong time. I'm like, oh, it doesn't do it here. But so I started yelling "Click Boom," and then the bassist was playing. He was just like, I was like, let me just step back from the mic. But
dude, you know what? That's but at least you got up there. At least you got to hang out with some of the icons of rock and
festival. But shoot, for Chasing Yesterday, I mean, you can find us on Chasing Yesterday Official on Instagram, Chasing Yesterday we're on Twitter.
Definitely on Spotify.
Yeah, we're on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, any of the major music platforms. You can find us. We've got several songs released. Only one of them is going to feature me. That's the newest release has been Black Echo, and that was me getting back in the studio for the first time in years and doing something. But we got a bunch of stuff coming out. We have 3 songs in the ringer right now, getting ready to be thrown out, and just doing the finishing touches. I'm trying to head up to Canada to record the vocals for those last 2 tracks with John Howard of Threat Signal.
Killer, and,
supposed to be going up there. He's a busy dude. I don't want to interrupt the schedule at all, but he's been gracious enough to offer and lend some of his time and assistance towards us specifically. So cool guy. Great band. He's getting ready to, I believe he's getting ready to go on tour with him, his band, The Monolith. But with Chasing Yesterday, YouTube, Facebook, we're there, very reachable. If you message us, I'm going to message you back.
Killer.
It's says, you know, if I ask you to send a picture of you holding the peace sign up over your right eye with your left hand, it's because, or over your, you know, with your right hand, it's because I'm trying to sift through this. There's so many fakes on there. People like asking me for money and asking me for this or asking me for this.
Oh
like,
God, it's
I'm
horrible.
always like, okay, if you really say who you say you are, you know, I want you to send a picture of you going, you know, throwing up both metal horns, and just to prove, okay, this is an actual person, because there's so many, like, I don't know if there's dudes in Nigeria posing as these hot chicks or something, but
There's a lot of that.
it's like,
There's a lot of that.
I'm not going to send you a screenshot of my phone. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, but yeah, you can find us. We're all very accessible. And if you have, you know, any issues, I participate in a lot of mental health stuff I lost my best friend back in August. And so if you need someone to talk to, hey, message me. I'm here. I'm always reachable. It may not be right after, but, you know, I'm a busy guy too on my end. I got a lot of stuff going on, but, you know, always reach out to somebody, always get help.
Absolutely, man.
There's no need to find a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So, yeah.
Awesome, man. Shane, this has been a wonderful first
Dude,
hangout.
been cool. Hell yeah.
Dude, thank you so much. Farewell to the Lone Star State. It will not be the last time, I can tell you that.
No, it won't. We'll get you here. I would love to have you guys out here playing with us, or us in Florida playing with y'all. We'll make it a hell of a party.